We have here, I'm going to use several decks, but we have here the Three of Swords, which is a very Saturn energy, and it's also connected to Libra, to the sign of Libra. And if this video is actually connected to another one that if you can check it out, I recommend you do if you like this one, which is more like a podcast, 15 minutes of the planetary energy. And the Libra energy came up a lot of our relationships and how this moment of trials and tribulations is putting the magnifying glass in our lives in a very karmic way on our relationships to others. And last week could have been a very heartbreaking moment for a lot of people, where we felt the Three of Swords. There's two cards for me as a tarot reader that I cannot see through them. I cannot see like what's gonna come and from them, or from what kind of situation. And I believe there's a reason for that there's some things in our life that we're not supposed to know. There's some trials and tribulations, such as the Tower moments, that are supposed to come and shake us, and without any much of a warning, actually. And that their power of transmutation in our life actually comes from that unexpectedness that they bring with them. And of course, that unexpectedness of bad news, of change of situation, of completion of cycles, when we were not really ready, because it's not that we took the decision to end it there, is that we were brought to decide that it should end there. It brings a lot of heartbreak, and that maybe you even went through that kind of a week where you felt like your heart was breaking, and maybe you even felt like physical pain. I know I did. I was certainly feeling that Tower moment and that Three of Swords in the flesh. Now I can laugh about it. I'm feeling a bit better, and I hope everybody else is feeling a bit better after the stormy weather from last week. If you would like to make any comments of how your week was, you can of course do that in the comments, and I can, and put you like a free card if you have any kind of question. That one card won't say much, but I mean it's some help for you out there. I mean, at least I can give you the meaning of the card, and that might give you some guidance as to your life, totally free. In those moments of Three of Swords, I did see the cards coming, the Tower and the Three of Swords last week. The Tower is not here on the table, but the Three of Swords is still lingering, of course. And because that's part of, but that's the feeling that we are overcoming. Because the great thing, thankfully, from life is that this too shall last. This too shall not last. Not even bad things are eternal. And there's, after heartbreak, there's time for rebuilding and for healing your heart, your emotions, and realizing why that you had to have that hard life lesson. And it's an opportunity that there's a roommate saying that the light comes in through the wound. It is through feeling wounded that we find our light, and that we find how important it is to be insightful of what led us to that situation, or what comes out of that situation, and how we come victorious from that situation. And that in that knowing that heartache does pass. But that heartache is, and this is what the cards are telling us, it's also very necessary for us to do what? To do the following: to move away from things that no longer serve us, like here in the Eight of Cups. And if you see the figure, bring it closer. If you see the figure, and this is again Saturn energy, which is what we're feeling, it feels, well, it doesn't feel like a triumphant moment for sure, but it does feel like what you need to do, what is necessary to leave things behind that are breaking your heart, things that are not in alignment with a place where you feel you flourish, or that it resonates with your values as well. And those uncomfortable moments over here, we come here with the, let's see, light, the Two of Pentacles, which is about making decisions, or being forced to make those decisions because we're feeling uncomfortable, and because we're faced with, and here we have justice upside down, which means the opposite of justice, of course, feeling that there's injustice, and that injustice pushes us over to make decisions. And here with this is another tarot deck. This is the Tarot of the Rose. And this is strength upside down, that when we are faced with situations that are oppressive, but where maybe strength was taken to the limit in people, in a situation where people are in power in all sorts of ways, from psychological, emotional, from power plays, power games, or and relationships as well, of course, romantic relationships. And here we have again the Two of Coins. So we have a conjunction of injustice along with an excessive violence or maybe aggression that breaks our heart, and pushes us over to understand that this is the moment to move forward. This is the moment to make drastic changes. Yes, of course, it feels horrible, and it feels super uncomfortable, but it is necessary. It comes as a blessing at the end. Here with the Two of Coins upside down, Two of Pentacles, where the decision is taken. I mean, something here with the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is that energy of the person that is holding on to the coins and doesn't want to let go. But upside down, something that you didn't want to let go, which you knew you had to let go, you have to. I mean, there's no other option, because the situation is already so tense after when the tower moment comes, that it breaks free from you. And there's a moment of judgment, of awakening, and that's what judgment is hearing the call of that epiphany of realizing, what am I doing? For whatever your situation might be, this is about putting your tower moment from last week and through the lens of how this can be of assistance, of help, of progression, of actually as a silver lining, actually, from the bitter situation that you might have felt last week. Here with the Nine of Batons upside down, or the Nine of Wands upside down, is a moment of when that moment of judgment comes, that shocking moment where things break down and you just realize you have to let go. You're putting down the defenses, or maybe the psychological mechanisms that got you into that situation in the first place, or what kept you in that situation in the first place. And you realize, you put your walls down, and that also assists you into realizing, like a house of cards falling down. Like, once you put your defenses down, you see things as they really are. And here with the Ace of Batons and the Hierophant, I feel that energy. I was thinking about putting this, and this is actually a phone, like an old-fashioned phone. I love it. It's working and functional. If you like a phone call tarot reading, you can write below a comment, and I can send you the details on email, or on your, on email, by email. Here with the energy, back to the reading. Ace of Wands upside down, and the Hierophant upside down. This is about, I was thinking about reversing them, putting them upright, but then I think this whole situation, this whole tower moment, has to do a lot with power games, with people in authority, or with structures and doctrines and paradigms of how things are to be done, and an excess of control or dominion of those strong institutions, or of how things used to be, or how relationships used to be, and that are getting shattered. And we are coming into that realization that we have to walk away from these situations, because now we can see clearly, like at that moment, it could be for some, that moment in a relationship when you realize, when you've been, we all have been in bad relationships, every single human being. And it comes as a great teaching lesson for all of us, because you understand, once you go through all the pain and the storm, of course, and the heartbreak, you have this magical time to go inside and mourn the person that you used to be, but also understand the person that you used to be, and why you got into the relationship as far as it went, and why it was the moment, the drop in, like the shoe that dropped, like the last thing that broke everything, that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back, and you say, no, now I know this is what I need to do, and this is what must be done. And you confront the horrible moment as best you can, and it's of course very uncomfortable. But you realize that it is for the better, and of course it feels very painful. But it is that feeling like, and also of work relationships as well. It has the same dynamic because we also commit ourselves to our work and to our working relationships and maintaining them. And also there's all this, all if we get to think about it, there's all this subject of having loyalty to your company or to your bosses, and being supportive to your team, co-workers, and everything. So there's of course that component of relationships, and of also maybe going through a situation where you realize finally that the straw that broke the camel's back, that the place where you were at is no longer your place, or maybe nobody gave you a choice, you were just laid off. That could also be an option for a tower moment for last week. And but there's the silver lining from that situation is that we realize it gives us this power, and it gives us, this is the gift that of such moments, that it makes us realize there's moment of, and I was listening to make sense of everything. That's what we look for, right? When we go for tarot readings or astrology, or someone to read our birth chart, is to give us another perspective, another north for us to understand our life, to put it from a different prisms or angle. Totally butchered the word prism. The ones that you can see light through and you break the light through it. I'm going to practice the word later on to say it properly next time. I encourage myself to say it. But it's looking for meaning, maybe, for a pattern, because that's what we want to find. Like, to when there's so many weird stuff going on in our lives, we're like, what does it all mean? And actually, this is a great time to go within. And I was, of course, listening. That's where I was heading to. I was listening to an astrologer, Nadia Shaw, which is, I think she's fantastic. She's very accurate, and she's short and sweet, and easy to understand about the energies and how they are going to play with our emotions, because that's what actually the planetary energies are doing. They're moving our emotion. They're encouraging certain patterns, and in the mystery of the cosmos, somehow the evolution of our soul is involved with that progression of the planets, and there's lessons that we are to learn, and trials and tribulations that we are to overcome, that bring a spiritual richness to our life, and they bring focus on the things that are actually important. And this is where it comes from. And she was actually talking, and I totally agree with her and her energy, that and of course she's been doing astrology for many years, that she knows her stuff, that's what I mean. That she was talking about everybody's going within again, and understanding our value and the value of our time, which is very similar to the dark night of the soul that we all went through in 2020 when the pandemic started. It was a time to go within and realize what is worthy in life, the value that we give to things, and the time. And more than that is because it's also the notion of Saturn, and Saturn being father time, and things that are, and this cards here that you're looking at is the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is the energy of Taurus, and it's about where what is worthy of our time, what is worthy of our investment, With whom should we be dwelling with, or having relationships with, or passing our time with, or just and in these coins could be from your phone calls, from your time, from your text, from your thoughts, from your prayers, from your money from your pocket, or from help that you give to your neighbors, or from attention, or the position that you give a person in your life, and the value of that, and who, and deciding, because he has the scales here, he's measuring that, how much energy he gives to everybody. And it's not, of course, the negative side could be that you're overthinking about being giving to others. Don't be stingy, of course. But is that energy of being intelligent also, because that's the great side from Taurus, is that they're very intelligent how do they use their time, and because they're very aware how slow wins the race, and slow, diligent, and daily, right, and continuous, uh, is what brings you to a place of being the King of Pentacles of your life. And the King of Pentacles again is very Saturn, is the Saturn energy, because it takes a long time, and that Saturn takes a long time around the the cycle that it does around the planet. So it means things that take longer to come to fruition, like a career, like a family, like a company, like building yourself up to be the boss of your life, to building anything in concrete. This could also be like a carpenter. It could be a person that works in agricultural. It could be a person that works in Wall Street. It can be so many different things. But it means the King of Pentacles is well established. He has, and he knows as well, and this is a Saturn and the energy of Aries as well. And Aries is the starter of things. So there's that wisdom. This is a great wisdom that comes in here from this Tower Moments, is what we want to build, and realizing the power that we have on the day to day on how to build a better life, and a more and how does that life look like? How does it look like, for it to feel balanced for you, for it to feel comfortable in a Taurus kind of way, that it feels, that it makes sense, it feels luxurious, or it feels comfortable. It's not about just luxury, but the luxuries of life, and for that are fundamental for everybody, and that those are like the comforts and luxuries, and they are as diverse as there are people. It could be from your hot cup of coffee, and while you listen to the rain on the balcony, or playing with your dogs, to whatever is it that you love, your craft or hobby or sport, or whatever. Maybe you love bikes and you love working on your bike all day. I mean, whatever your beautiful luxurious day looks like you feel today feels very satisfying, think about that, and think about how you can create that in small little steps, diligent and daily routine in that, in order to create, and what is worthy as well. You have to be also very practical and logical, as a Taurus would be, as an Aries would be, as a King would be, of course, as anybody who's worthy of managing their business, and of course life being your business, your most important business, god damn it, of course, um, that you're investing into the life that you want. And as I was saying, Saturn and Aries being the starter, the igniter of the signs, it's knowing on what to invest, knowing what company to open, or where to direct your energies, and sitting down, maybe, I mean, and know that these three are pentacle energy, so they are slow. Taurus is slow. Even though Aries is, it's quick. Before you move quickly, you must first look at it from a Saturn kind of way at the long term, how it's going to look like, if it can be grounded in reality, because of course the King of Pentacles is very grounded in reality. And in that way, if you get to align yourself with that, with the lesson that you're getting right now, the great insights that you can get from the Tower Moments from last week, and make it more of your benefit, you could understand a lot of about yourself, and progress in a way where you're progressing in a more mature way, in your relationships with others, in romance, in the workplace, in the relationship, how others fit in your life and how they add to your plan, and they add to your plan of a very satisfactory, a very satisfied life, life of comfort, a life where this is the of Pentacles. It's not about having the fancy home and the fancy car. It's about feeling that luxury that comes from knowing that the coins here are bought with your time. Each of these coins represents time of your life that you're exchanging in order to have the castle, in order to have the things that you want. So it's very important also to include your vision of how your ideal life would look like, and how you're going to spend it in a way that feels balanced and feels comfortable for you, and having that sense of what didn't work for you is actually going to put you in the place where you need to be. And that is part of the mysterious life lessons that we're going to get from, that we're getting, if we want, from the Tower moments and the Dark Night of the Soul that we're going through. So if you like to get a reading, you can leave a comment below. You can send me an email. I have a website as well, piedralunataro808.com. And I send you lots of blessings to whoever needs to hear this. Know that this too shall pass, and know that you're not alone. Everybody's going through dark night of the souls left and right, feeling lost in the storm. But there's going to be silver linings coming from this. And the silver lining is understanding that sometimes difficult life situations come up in our life so that we empower ourselves on our self-love, on our self-respect, on our boundaries, and that we redirect our true north to a place where we can actually flourish, where it does feel like that's where we belong, and where it feels right, in a right and balanced way for our souls. So I hope that was of help, and blessings to you.